Hello everyone, we are starting with chapter 2 Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. Now the flowering plants which you see around yourself, they belong to a category of angiosperms. In chapter number 1 we read about all the events of the sexual reproduction. They were pre-fertilization event, fertilization event and post-fertilization event. Herein we will be talking specially about the plants that produce the flowers. We will describe in detail each event. So if you can recollect, it's good. Otherwise you can go to my previous videos just to memorize the concept. So the first event of the sexual reproduction was pre-fertilization event, wherein we talked about the formation of gametes. So formation of gametes was the first step of the pre-fertilization events. Because the chapter is specifically on the plants, so we will be talking just about plants only. Now the process of formation of gametes you already know by now. This is known as gametogenesis. We are talking about plants, thus we will be talking about microsporogenesis that will lead to the formation of microspores, and we will also talk about megasporogenesis that leads to the formation of megaspores. Now first we are starting off with microsporogenesis. So microsporogenesis, first we must know how to define this process, right? So you can write upon the process of formation of microspores or pollen grains is known as microsporogenesis. So here you can write full. Let me start with the flower description first. If you observe any flower, then androecium, which is generally the third whorl from outer to inner side, this is named as androecium, and this is actually the part that contains male reproductive parts. Now how to define androecium? Androecium is the collection of stamen. Now what is this stamen now? Stamen shows this type of structure wherein two anthers are present at the top and a filament is present at the base. So these anthers, they are present at the top and filament is present at the base. Generally in a two-dimensional diagram you are able to see only these two structures. But if you are able to see a 3D structure, or if you observe them lively on the plant, then you will find that filament is connected to anther by a point which is known as connective. So altogether stamen has three parts. First anther, filament and connective. So a stamen consists of these three parts. Now when we talk about the collection of stamens, that means we are talking about androecium. Now we have already seen that collection of stamen makes the androecium. Now there are two terms given in NCERT and you must know the meaning of them. That anther is bilobed and dithecous. We will understand the meaning of these two terms using the diagrams on the right hand side. Anthers, if you remember, I drew them like this. So each this structure is a lobe. So how many lobes are there? 2. That is why the term is there bi. Bi means 2. So 2 lobes are there. Now when you will cut the cross section or the transverse section of this anther, then you will observe a structure like this, which is shown here. This one. You can see that this is one lobe here and this is the another lobe here. Now 2 lobes are visible, and what is the prominent thing that you have observed in this? Yes, there are 2 circular structures which are seen in each lobe. Now we will study about them. So anthers, as you go from out to in, if you cut the transverse section, the first layer which you are going to observe is known as epidermis. The second layer which you are going to observe is endothecium. The third layer which you are going to observe is middle layer. And the fourth layer which you are going to observe in the transverse section, it will be named as tapetum. So if you cut the transverse section, you can see here that epidermis is the outermost layer made this, right? So epidermis is the outermost layer. If you move a little in, then you will find endothecium. If you move ahead, you will find middle layers. Means one after the other they are present consecutively, and the fourth layer will be the tapetum. So if you go from out to in, the name of the layers are epidermis, endothecium, middle layers and tapetum. In board's question comes from like name the layers of the anther from outer side to inner side or from inner to outer side. So please remember, if you are moving from in to out, the layers will be named as tapetum, middle layer, endothecium and epidermis. If you will reverse the order, it will become outer to inner side. Now this is your anther, which you can see here. Layers we have already seen. In the center, vascular strand is there. Now this vascular strand will give the nutrients to the growing anther. Very important thing is, can you see this structure which is there? These oval circles which are there, these ones. So they are 4 in number. In each loop, 2 bag-like structure are present. This bag is known as microsporangia. That is why anthers are known as dithecous, because in each lobe how many microsporangia are found? 2. You can see in lobe number 1, 1, 2. In lobe number 2, 1, 2. That is why they are known as dithecous. Bilobe means 2 lobes. Now we will see inside that inside the microsporangia will be a bag that will contain microspores. But prior to that, what will be the cells that have to go meiosis to form the gametes? So these cells, microspore mother cells, will be found in the microsporangia. These are your meiocytes. Means they will undergo meiosis. And what will they form? Yes, they will form 4 gametes. And these 4 gametes, here they will be known as pollen grain. So these pollen grain, they will be haploid, because they will contain half the number of chromosome to there in their meiocytes. Very important. So meiocytes, they are diploid, they are 2n, and pollen grain, they will always be haploid. So microsporangia is a bag that will contain microspore mother cells. When the flower has not blossomed, means in the bud stage, microspore mother cells, they undergo meiosis to form the microspores. Once microspores number it increases inside the microsporangia, they exert pressure, and you can see the point here which is known as stomium here and here the walls are weak. So if microsporangia is full of microspores, then these microspores they are liberated, because stomium is the place where this breaking occurs in the anther, and you can see here in this diagram that the wall has already been broken and pollen grains they are dispersed. So in microsporogenesis, microspores are formed because microspores are the examples of the gamete, thus they will always be formed of the meiosis process. Now till now we have already read the number of layers, and we have also seen that pollen grains are formed. Now let me draw the structure of one pollen grain again for you. This is the nucleus of the pollen grain, which will be haploid or N, because it will contain half the number of chromosomes, because it is an example of a gamete. Now we will see that pollen has two layers. The outer spiny one is known as the exine, and the inner smooth one is known as intine. Now exine is made up of a protein which is known as sporopollenin. This protein is very important because it is resistant to decay. There is no enzyme that has been discovered that can cause the decay of this exine. Thus, if natural calamity comes and flowers they got buried, then they will leave a pattern, and over the years if scientists will study, then they will find that there is a definite sculpturing pattern, because each exine has a specific amount of sporopollenin that gives it a particular shape. So each plant has a specific amount of sporopollenin that gives a particular shape. Now if the pollen are there, now pollen they already have haploid nucleus. Now if these pollen will divide by one mitosis, then how many cells are going to form? Of course 2. Now here you can see that the division is irregular, unequal, right? Because the one cell which is formed at the top, it is bigger and it is known as vegetative cell or vegetative nucleus, because the vegetative cell has vegetative nucleus, and this cell is known as the generative cell with generative nucleus. Both the nucleus they will be haploid. Now when a pollen divides by one mitosis, then this two-celled stage is seen. So please note it down that 60% of the angiospermic families, 60% of the angiospermic families of flowers, they are pollinated at the two-celled stage, wherein vegetative nucleus is also found and generative nucleus is also found. In rest of the 40% of the angiospermic flowers, pollen they are released at the three-celled stage. Now how this three-cell stage will be attained? You have already seen that vegetative cell with vegetative nucleus and generative cell with generative nucleus were formed. Now this vegetative cell will not divide further, and this generative cell will divide further to form how many gametes? 2 gametes. So that means again mitosis will specifically happen in the generative cell only, as a result of which 2 male gametes will be formed. Now in this structure you can observe that 3 cells are there over